Hi there. My name is Nicole Kendrick, and I am a beauty guide for LimeLife by Alcone. And I decided to design this video for those of you who might be considering trying LimeLife's Perfect Foundation, but maybe you're not quite sure. Maybe you've been on the fence. Or maybe you're somebody who actually received a foundation sample from me and you're not quite sure how to go about the application process. Or maybe you're somebody who has already been using LimeLife's Perfect Foundation, but maybe you're struggling in some areas. So this video is going to cover all of it from start to finish when it comes to the foundation application itself and the concealers as well. So first things first, always, always, always start with a clean face. My face is completely clean. I did cleanse it before I got on this video. And second thing is to always use skincare before you start your application process. Now, I talk a lot about LimeLife skincare because I decided to partner with this brand and attach my name to this brand simply because I fell head over heels in love with it when I started using it. However, I think the best takeaway from anything that I discuss is to just put something on your skin, whether it be moisturizer, serums, just put something on before you do your makeup and you will find a world of difference. Your makeup really cannot perform at its best unless you prep your skin first. I use basically like a cocktail of serums and moisturizer, and I do some days prime on top of that. Priming is one of those things that I would suggest for certain people depending on what issues you have with your skin. Sometimes skincare alone, I feel, is enough to prep your skin for your foundation. A lot of days I don't really put primer on unless I feel like I want a heavier coverage. But I do start with like a big cocktail of good skincare. It is up to you what you want to put on. But again, just know that if you start with some skincare, you will find that your makeup will go on so much better. Okay, so let me just get this on. I used a combination of what's called Sotox, which is it's an anti-aging serum. It's a tightener, a brightener. And I paired that with Due Date face oil, which is great for any kind of inflammation that you might have. I don't really have problems with inflammation, but in the wintertime, my skin's very dry. So it acts as a great moisturizer and it just gives you that fresh, dewy appearance. And One Drop Wonder, which is this little bottle right here. I only need 1 drop of that. And that it's made of such a small molecule that it has the ability to travel deeper into the cellular levels of the skin. So it takes any of the skincare that you pair it with and it just helps to take it deeper into the skin. Okay, and then I did apply one small pump of our Glow Drops, which is a coconut infused illuminator. And again, it just gives it that nice dewy glow that I find is so flattering, especially when it pulls through your foundation. It just looks so healthy. And then some days, especially if I'm going to be outside, I do actually use the Perfect sunscreen. This is my absolute favorite face sunscreen. It's like a 3-in-1. So not only is it a moisturizer, but of course it's also SPF 30 and it acts as a primer. So this kind of kills 3 birds with 1 stone. Okay. So I love this. You really only need 1 squirt. These products are very potent, so you don't need a lot. A little bit goes a long way. They're going to last you a lot longer than your average skincare might. So if you're looking for something to prime, plus moisturize, protect, and and give you the SPF, this is a really great choice. Okay, I would definitely highly recommend that. We also have a spray primer that you can use if you want to prime. So how do you know if you're somebody who needs to prime? When I say prime, I mean actually using something that's labeled a primer. So your skincare may be enough depending on what types of issues you have with your skin. If you have large pores, if you have a lot of fine lines, wrinkles, if you have acne scarring, unevenness in your skin tone, or you want a heavier coverage from your foundation, I would highly recommend that maybe you invest in a good primer. We do have a very good spray primer that was designed by Scandinavia. And that is available in, I believe, two sizes, a smaller size and then a larger size. And then, of course, the other option is this. This also has, this is the perfect sunscreen that I just used. It also has a lot of anti-aging benefits in it as well. It's, I want to say one of the ingredients is chicory root, and that acts like retinol. Okay, so it's really great. All right, so I'm just going to give that just a few seconds to kind of absorb into my skin before I start applying my foundation. Perfect foundation. I'm going to talk a little bit about that while this is absorbing. This is a perfect complexion palette. There's a lot of choices that are available when it comes to deciding what you want to get when you get your foundation. You can just get one single foundation, which is just this, or you can get a palette. I like this palette because it does save some money and it gives me two concealers. Once you know your foundation shade, okay, that's when your beauty guide can let you know what concealers you might need. All right. How do you get color matched for this? There is a color match quiz, and I can certainly get that to you. And then I usually ask for a picture, a photo in the front of a naturally lit window with your neck and chest exposed and no makeup. And then I can kind of, once you get your number from your color match quiz, you can reach out to me, give me that number, send me your selfie, and then I can definitely make sure whether or not that shade is appropriate for you. The quiz is pretty accurate, I will say that, but sometimes it just might be a shade or two off, depending, okay? But the quality of the picture is actually really important because depending on what type of light you're in, it can definitely change your undertones in your skin, or the appearance of your undertones, I should say. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I normally start with some concealers first, just to do some color correcting. So I do have some Maskne down here, and I have a concealer in one of my other palettes here that's actually designed to help with some redness. It has a green tint to it. It's this one right here. It's our #1 concealer, and I just use my finger. I use my little finger here, and I get some of that on there, and I press that in just to kind of conceal the redness in that acne. The foundation itself is 50% pigmented, which is a huge, huge pigment level. You're not going to find that when you walk into like Sephora or Ulta. You're just not. It is wax-based, and it is botanical vegan. The foundation is. The concealers that I'm using right now, they are a little more than 50% pigmented. They are also wax-based, but they are derived from beeswax. But the coverage is incredible. Okay, so that conceals the redness. Then, usually what I do, I will go into, I use my #4 LimeLife brush, and I go into these two concealers right here. This is shade 2 and 3. These two shades, when combined, help to conceal dark areas, so like dark circles. Now, my circles have become a lot better since using eye serum. We have this Eye Eye Serum, and it has made a world of difference. And again, all I did was press this in a couple times and then press it on to my skin, and that's all you need to do because it's so pigmented, you guys. You don't need a lot of this. This stuff's gonna last you a long time. I use mine every day, and it lasts me 7 months, maybe a little longer. But when I first started using LimeLife foundation, I used it as a luxury because it's pricey. So for me anyway, I mean, coming from the girl who would like, you know, freak out over having to spend $10 or more for makeup, that was me. I use it as a luxury. I only used it when we went away or on special occasions, and it lasted me for over a year. And then the more and more I use it, I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I can't deny the fact that this stuff is great, and now I wear it every day. So yeah, there's that. The inevitable obsession with LimeLife. And then I have some melasma up here. So I do take my shade 2-3 concealer and I apply it up there a little bit to just kind of cover that up. And I will put my foundation over that then. Okay, so here again, you don't need a lot of product, all right? A little bit goes a long way. If you find that you're using the foundation and it's, I don't know, if you feel like it's actually sinking into your fine lines, you might be using too much product. Try to use less. Because it's wax based, it's meant to sit on top of the skin, on the top layer, on the epidermis. So it shouldn't really look like it's sinking in. And sometimes if it does look like it is, or it's cakey, you're probably using too much product. Just know with this formulation, less is more, all right? This is a pro grade formulation. There was a time when this was only available to pro makeup artists who actually had like a professional makeup artist card. And now I'm going in with my foundation. This is shade 26. That's my winter shade. This is the number 17 brush from LimeLife. The 17 brush I like because it just gives your skin a sheer coverage of the foundation, not a heavy shade. So on a daily basis, I like to just have a sheer application of the foundation. If I want a heavier coverage, I would say go in with a damp beauty blender, and you can kind of press that in and then just like press into your skin, and you're going to get a much heavier coverage of the foundation. It's really up to you what you want to apply with. Also, now I did not do this before I started because it's wax based. If you warm it up a little bit before you get started, it's going to give you a smoother application. Sometimes if I'm sitting, I'll put it under my thigh and warm it up that way. I'll stick it in my bra. I'll put it in my pocket just to kind of warm it up. You don't want to put it under like a hot lamp or anything like that, because it might get too hot that it'll melt it, and it will turn into a liquid form if you melt it too much. If you don't really have time to do that, which I honestly didn't today, I just kind of went in with it. Just give it time to kind of adjust to the temperature of your skin, which is like over 90 degrees. And it will kind of get a little bit more creamy so that when you go to blend, it'll blend out a lot easier, okay? All right, so then from that point, that's just my foundation and my concealer. I then like to go in with this shade 0. Don't mind the messy palette. I use it a lot. This lightest shade concealer, which is shade 0. I like to go in with my 4th finger, and I like to just apply this in areas where I want a highlight. I like to put it here on the corners of my eyes. It just kind of gives my eyes a lift. And then I like to go here in the inner corner of my eye and kind of pull it down. And you don't have to do this. It's really up to you what you want to do. And then I also go on the bridge of my nose. And I like to go up here between my eyes. And here on my middle of my forehead a little bit. Okay? And then we're going to blend that in. Cupid's bow. And then the chin. Okay. Then I take my damp beauty blender and I blend this all together, okay? So I'll start with that highlight shade because it's the lightest shade, and I'm just pressing this in. I'm not pulling at it, dragging it, nothing. I'm just kind of pressing it in and blending it all together so it's nice and seamless. Okay. I would suggest kind of pulling back here onto your ears a little bit. My ears sometimes get red if I'm warm. And it also kind of, just so that you don't have that area where it just stops, you want to kind of make sure it's pulled back onto your ears just ever so lightly. And then down onto your neck, of course. Okay. There you have it. Now, from this point, it's kind of up to you where you want to go. You can be done at this point and then just set it with something. Or if you're somebody who likes to cream contour, which I do like to cream contour, I do have a darker shade concealer that I do that with. And again, you can use your finger for this if you want, and just go in areas where you want to do some contouring. I like to go down here. And then you can even go on the sides of your nose here if you want to give your nose a thinner appearance. It's up to you. And then again, go in with your damp beauty blender, and you're just kind of pressing this in. I pull this up into the hairline just a little bit. This just gives your face some dimension, just so it doesn't look like you're washed out and all one color, because realistically, our face really isn't all one shade. Okay. Okay, there you have it. All right, so as you can see, it just gives a little bit of color back to the face. And then from that point, you have a few options as to what you want to set it with. This formulation does require some sort of setting. That can be anything from a colored powder to a translucent powder. It's up to you. I use both depending on the day, depending on the mood I'm in. Again, it's completely up to you. I do have the colored powders. I have 3 shades because, well, some days I like to cream contour, some days I like to powder contour. It depends. So I'm going to use the colored powders today. I have this light shade here, which is the lightest shade. Again, these you can be matched for as well, depending on your foundation shade. And I'm just going to go under my eye here and just push this in lightly. I'm setting that concealer and that foundation. The translucent powder is white, and it's exactly what it says. It's translucent, okay? And it's fine. If you just want to set with a translucent powder, that's perfect. We do have a starter collection. It's my favorite collection. It's called the Perfect Complexion Collection, I believe. And in that collection, you will get a full-size priming and setting spray. You will get a trio palette of your choice. It's custom. It includes blushes, bronzers, and the translucent powder, and you can choose any 3 that you want. And you get your perfect complexion palette, which is your 2 concealers and your foundation. And in that collection saves, I believe, $30 by getting it as a starter collection. Okay, so that's a great option for people who are just starting out. I'm just going into my main foundation powder shade here. And again, just kind of pushing this in to set that cream foundation. I'm just going in with my darker shade here to kind of go over that cream contour shade. Okay. And again, you don't have to do this. You can just do their foundation and the translucent powder if you want, and maybe just use a blush or a bronzer to give you some color. That's perfectly fine to do too. It's up to you. All right, and that's it. And then I usually do a couple squirts of the setting spray when I'm finished, just to kind of hold my makeup throughout the day. I don't have to reapply ever. I've never had to reapply my makeup throughout the day. It lasts all day. It's incredible. Even with a mask on, it's unlike anything I've ever used, truly. And this setting spray is up to 16 hours hold. This is the Time Setter makeup finishing spray. Or there's one called Oil Strike, which is for people with oily skin, and it helps to just control that oil throughout the day. This makeup formulation really is for any skin type. You can use it if you have dry skin, oily skin, all the things. And again, if you're ever struggling with it, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I can help at any time. Again, if you need a color match, I can do that for you. There is a color match quiz. I will definitely get that to you if you'd like it. And then, of course, I normally ask for a picture in front of a naturally lit window, okay, with your neck, chest exposed, no makeup, so that I can make sure that that shade is accurate for you. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.